Yo, what is going on, everybody? Look, I gotta head off to work in like 16 minutes, but I just had to do this video before I left because I saw this article this morning and I covered something else that was extremely important this morning, but I gotta touch on this. So you know this whole Dr. Dre divorce battle, guys? You know this other example of why you should never get married, especially to a feminist. And look, I don't know if Dre's wife is a feminist or not. If you go back to my previous video that I did, you'll see the reasons for not wanting to marry a feminist. But look, let's even assume she's not, right? But she's sure hella entitled for someone that's not, if that is the case. Dr. Dre's estranged wife, Nicole Young, wants $2 million in their divorce battle. Not as a once-off payment, per month. She wants that in ongoing support per month. Let's have a read of this. Young has filed court docs. Dr. Dre's estranged wife, Nicole Young, has filed court docs asking for almost $2 million monthly. $2 million a month, guys. That's $500,000 a week. $500,000 a week. Are you kidding me right now? And of course, $2 million a month from the rapper, who has a net worth of around $800 million. She's 50 years old. She's asked an LA court for temporary spousal support in the amount of $1,936,399 per month. And she also wants the Beats by Dre mogul, who's 55, to pay her $5 million in fees she's spent on their split. You know, the $5 million that she's paid to try and extract $2 million a month from him? Unbelievable, TMZ reported Thursday. Young, who is reported by attorney Samantha Spector, filed for divorce from the Next Episode artist earlier this summer after 24 years of marriage, as they share two children, son Troyce, sorry if I mispronounce this, Troyce Young, and daughter Truly Young, 19. So she said she wants to leave. Then she spent $5 million on legal fees so that she could get the most out of him when she chose to leave. And now she's asking him to pay that $5 million that she paid to try and get the most out of him while she's trying to get the most out of him. You cannot make this stuff up. Insiders told TMZ that Nicole's quality of life has not changed since filing for divorce in July, as she resides at the Malibu, California home they had shared with amenities such as luxury vehicles and staff. So let me get this straight. You said you want to leave. You're like, well, I want to leave, but I don't want to leave this house. So you get out of here, you skedaddle. I'm going to pay $5 million in legal fees to try and fleece you in divorce. And then I'm going to demand that you pay it while I insist that you give me $2 million a month on top of that. Now, while we're at this, because let's just do some real quick calculations on how long it would take to burn through an $800 million fortune at the rate of $2 million a month. So how many months? There we go. It would look. It'd take. No, hang on. 400 divided by 12 months. Yeah, so 33 years. But I mean, still, like, that's still insane. I mean, it would. Yeah. Okay. The former NWA member and Young have been at odds over a prenup agreement. Of course they have. Of course, because she doesn't want to abide by the one she signed. Young, who was previously wed to NBA player Sadal Threat, said she initially signed one before their May 25th, 1996 wedding, but Dr. Dre later destroyed it during the better times in the marriage 2 years later. So why would Dr. Dre destroy a prenup that he'd signed? Why would you say, well, you know what, I'm just going to tear this thing up? As a guy with that kind of wealth, you don't just tear that up. She would have been like, you have to be coerced into that, because there's no world in which it makes sense to coerce someone into ripping up a prenup unless you have plans to take advantage of the ripping up of that prenup. Man, look at Dre, man. Poor dude. This is him in happier times. And this is him now. Do you want to go from being that guy to being that guy? Just look again. That guy, right? That guy. To that guy. Because that's who you're going to become if you marry a gold digger and you rip up prenups. If that is even what happened. That's if the media isn't lying about this, which is quite likely they are, because they lie about everything else these days. Dr. Dre is telling the court that his estranged wife signed the document and it remains in effect. There we go. He didn't rip it up. She's just saying he ripped it up because hashtag believe women. And if she says he ripped it up, then he ripped it up, and therefore there's no prenup, and therefore we don't need to worry about it, and therefore I can have my $2 million a month plus my $5 million back, plus I get to stay in the marital home, and you can go F yourself, Andre. Thank you very much. That's what she's playing at. In late July, the music mogul, whose real name is Andre Young, told an LA court that Young will not give him back his motorcycle, golf clubs, and firearms from the Malibu home they formerly shared. There we go. On top of all of this, guys, on top of all of this, she is not giving him his motorcycle, which she probably doesn't even ride. She probably doesn't even have a license, but she just wants to be spiteful. She wants to try and use this as leverage to get her $2 million a month from him, but for no other reason other than having a vagina and having at one stage shared the home with him that she now lives in, that he doesn't live in. Unbelievable. He's since moved into a Brentwood, California home. See, she decided she wanted out and he got kicked out, not her. His legal team noted that he has allowed Young into the Brentwood residence when she went to get her items and now wants her to reciprocate. So he let her come and get all of her stuff, but he can't have his bike and he can't have his firearms and he can't have his golf clubs because I've got all my stuff now. Plus I got the home. Plus I want the 5 million. Plus I want the 2 million a month. The Let Me Ride rapper in court docs has claimed full possession over the family's $1 billion in property, leading Young to request $1 million to maintain the financial status quo. Fuck out of here. You don't get to maintain the status quo. You opted out of the status quo when you said you wanted to leave. Right? You don't get that choice anymore. Right? This is not your game anymore. Leave. If you don't want the status, right? If you want the financial status quo, get back with him. Stay with him. Be in the same house. Don't be a bitch to him while that happens, because abusing him is domestic violence. And so you'd be a perpetrator of domestic violence if you were to go and do that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'm sorry. You don't just get to maintain the financial status quo when you're the one that wanted out. Gentlemen, $2 million a month, $5 million legal costs. Plus, you're the one that looks like the dick to all the friends because she's gone around talking shit behind your back. And on top of that, she lives in the house that you bought for her with your skills, with your talent. Now he's out in his ass. And on top of that, he's let her get her stuff and he doesn't get his own stuff. Do you want to lose $2 million a month? Do you want to lose $5 million in legal fees for something that you didn't do? Do you want to leave the house that you bought for her and yourself? Do you want to forfeit your motorcycle and your golf clubs and your firearms while you do everything and bend over backwards so she can have everything she wants? So she doesn't utter those words, I'm not happy? Gentlemen, this is why you don't get married. This is why if you live in a property, you should, if you own a property, I mean, look, you should really go and speak to a solicitor who's been burned in divorce before and an accountant that's been burned in divorce before you ever consider going and cohabitating with a woman, especially if you have significant wealth or the prospect of future significant wealth. Otherwise, you might find yourself spending $65,000 per day for something you don't have anymore. That's all I'm going to say about the matter. What's your thoughts in the comments? Please keep it respectful. We don't want this channel to get taken down. We know what the algorithms are like. So, let's play the game. Let's work with the platform that we're on to keep this channel active so that more men like yourselves can see this kind of video and realize that it's just not worth it anymore. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel and you're liking this content, please consider doing so. If you want to check out a new browser and you're using Chrome or anything else, head on over to sydneymigtow.com/Brave. Check out Brave browser. That would help to support this channel. Alternatively, you can check out PayPal in the description below, and you can also have a look at our sponsor, which is Land of the Losers. This guy wrote a very, very good book, which I couldn't put down, talking about his journey from simp to successful with women. And I couldn't put it down until I finished reading it. So check out the description below for a 20% off code on that book. Anyway, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure as always. I look forward to catching you in the next video. But until next time, peace.